Let's learn which exercises to start with and come up with a plan so you can train safely, effectively, and enjoy the journey. Stick around until the end so you can learn about some bonus gym tips specific to a female's physiology and anatomy. In high school, I was a runner, very loudly and not gracefully on the treadmill in my parents' basement. After graduating, I was doing night classes to be an EMT, and we were learning how to lift stretchers. I was forced to demonstrate, and it was the single most embarrassing event of my early adulthood. I couldn't lift the empty stretcher. Running wasn't helping me get stronger. I needed to lift weights. Long story short, I became a personal trainer. I invested 30 grand over the course of my career, strength and conditioning, biomechanics, program design, assessments, and nutrition. First of all, women are not small men. We respond to resistance training differently, and we respond to overall stress differently. Lifting weights makes us better at handling stress. Want to practice being calm when your boss is yelling at you? Lift weights. Want to gain muscle now so losing fat is easier when you hit menopause? Lift weights. Want to reverse type 2 diabetes? Lift weights. The list goes on. Follow the progressions in this video and load them gradually. Do them slowly. Gym fails don't happen when you do things slowly and gradually. Leg exercises come in two categories: hip dominant and knee dominant. The first exercise in your gym routine is the kettlebell deadlift from blocks. The second progression is a kettlebell deadlift from the floor, and the third progression is a trap bar deadlift from blocks. The easiest knee dominant exercise is a seated box squat. It's not as intimidating as a full squat. The next progression is making the seat lower, and the third progression is squatting all the way down, holding the weight close to you or further out in front of you. So to summarize, for hip dominant exercises, we've got the kettlebell deadlift from blocks, kettlebell deadlift from the floor, then trap bar deadlift. And then for knee dominant exercises, we've got seated squat, lower the squat, then hold a weight close to you or far away from you. One night as a new personal trainer, I was at the front desk by myself. It was 9 p.m. I was just about to head home for the night when two guys in tank tops and fake tans came up to the desk. I immediately knew they were bad news. They started taunting me, making fun of my work uniform, my name, my tiny arms. It was very traumatic, but also my arms were very tiny. Some fellow male trainers defended me valiantly and kicked them out. The very next morning, I hired my first coach with the goal of growing my overall strength, but more specifically, my back, arms, and chest. I guess I just wanted to be able to defend myself. With that fun story in our back pockets, let's learn upper body. For simplicity, upper body exercises can be split into two categories as well: pushing and pulling. The easiest form of a push is an elevated push-up or a machine chest press. The second progression is a lower push-up, and the third progression is something called a landmine overhead press. The easiest form of a pull is a machine row. The second progression is a seated cable row, and the third progression would be a kneeling single arm pull down with the palm facing up. So to summarize, for push exercises, we've got elevated push-up, machine chest press, then a lower push-up, then a landmine press, and for pull exercises, we've got machine row, then seated cable row, and then a single arm pull down with the palm facing up. Doing the upper body exercises in these progressions will make our shoulders gradually better at being in an overhead position. This means we will be doing chin-ups and overhead pressing within a few months, but we don't want to jump into that right away because we might get injured. Subscribe to my channel to be notified when I come out with the part 2 to this video where we learn overhead exercises. The last two types of movements are the lunge and core. The first lunge exercise to start with is the assisted split squat. The second is the assisted lunge, and the third progression is taking away the things we are using as support and just doing body weight, and then eventually adding load. Core is pretty simple. We're always going to include some sort of plank, side plank, and rotation into our routine. My three favorites are the elbow front plank, the elbow side plank, and the Deadbugs. So to summarize, lunge and core, we start with split squats supported, then lunges supported, then take away the support and add weight. For core, do front planks, side planks, and Deadbugs, and gradually increase time held and reps. We're going to put it all together into a program. And our workouts at first will be 30 minutes because 60 minutes is freaking long time for a beginner, and we would like to enjoy working out and not feel like a walking bag of marbles the next day. The workouts are full body because then you hit all these muscle groups multiple times per week instead of just once. This approach is great if the goal is to build muscle strength and skill and get more comfortable in the gym. At the beginning, repeating exercises within a week gives us time to learn and get comfortable in the gym. Take a screenshot of this program template and save it to your notes. As promised, here's 3 tips specific to a female's physiology when it comes to strength training. Number 1, women have what's called a Q angle. This means because of our wider hips, our femurs point inward more. So we may fall into more more knee valgus or knees caving in. To avoid this, think of pushing into the floor with your big toe, and to allow more space for the hips, turn the toes out and track the knees over the second and third toes. Number 2, women have smaller rib cages than men, so using a narrow grip on pull downs and presses helps. Use dumbbells and kettlebells and iso cables, and avoid barbells if you have pain. Number 3, women have a carrying angle. Because our hips are wide and our rib cage is smaller, the angle of our elbows goes inward. For this reason, when doing arm exercises, pick dumbbells and cables instead of barbells and easy bars. Click the link in the description for access to my free cookbook. I hope this helped you with how to begin a strength training routine that is safe, effective, and enjoyable. Leave a comment down below and let me know how it's going. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel for more guidance on how to eat, train, and think to prevent chronic disease.